AM guys, welcome back to the Graviton podcast. I'm your host, Sham from Graviton Web3 Accelerator. And today's episode is kind of special because just like my face, we're going to get up close and personal with Yeshu Agarwal, who is the brilliant co-founder and chief technology officer at Transak, which is one of the world's leading on-ramp Web3 infrastructure solutions. Just to give you a head start, they're probably the reason why you were able to buy that last batch of Ethereum on MetaMask, because MoonPay does not work for me. And well, it's true. I was just discussing with Arshit a few minutes back prior to the episode. None of my cards work with MoonPay. And the amount of geographies that Transact covers is astounding. Today, they're servicing more than 150 countries, unless I'm mistaken. More than 160 cryptocurrencies that you can buy with Transact. And they're operational across 75 blockchains. Jacob Cantelli, who was the former ops lead at Consensus while leading the MetaMask project, actually remarked that they love working with Transact because of the expansive geographic outreach. And as an Indian, I can relate, and I want to thank you for the same reason. But they're more than an on-ramping solution. As in, when you talk about Transact, when you define Transact at its face, it's an infrastructure solution through which companies can allow their users to transact in crypto, to buy and sell using fiat and vice versa. And but interestingly, Matthew Rosson of Splinterverse remarked that you were a complete user onboarding solution for them. So we are not just talking about, and they're a metaverse gaming experience product. So we are no longer just talking about mainstream adoption of crypto. We are talking about mainstream adoption of Web3, which you're pushing, which is an amazing step for the industry right now. So Yeshu, thank you so much for being with here today. Thank you for agreeing to do this episode on short notice. We're really glad to have you here. And B, we are going to start the conversation right where we left off our initial chat, which is what first prompted you, or how young were you when you first discovered that abnormal spark inside you, which Vitalik keeps talking about, when you figured out that you are different from your peer group, that you have a different destiny, a different purpose that you must serve. When did you hear that calling for the first time? What sort of convictions led you into Web3 eventually? As far as your resume says, you've never had a boss, and you've always worked for yourself, which speaks. So it's been 9 years into your entrepreneurial journey, as per your official resume, and right now you're doing this, which and what you've achieved with Transact is beyond admiration. And I believe I speak for founders everywhere when I say that. So welcome to the show, and let's start off with your journey, your self-discovery journey, and then into your journey of entrepreneurship.
Thank you for having me, Sham, and also thank you for a brief introduction about Transact and about me as well. Love to share in detail how I started journey. So I'll start with this. That spark happened coming to your question about when that moment happened. I would say when I was back in 2011, I started my career very early. During my school life, I started my career, and there was this. Let me describe the whole story, like how exactly things started. So there was a year 2011 when Android just launched, right? And I used to dabble with computers, those days people, my friends, family members, and everyone used to call me like, hey, like you are into crypto, into more into computers, someone who is always excited about computers and all. So since very early days, I was very much into, I want to learn programming, I want to do something in with computers, right? And that time Android just launched, and I built this mobile app called Hackers Home. So that time I also very much excited towards ethical hacking and pen testing and all of these things. So that time that mobile app was top 10 in Play Store, and that really give me a big boost. I can do something my own, that time thousands of dollars were I used to earn during my school days even, right? So I was in 11th standard in 2011. So so yeah, that's how like entrepreneurship started. And I used to like run that mobile app for 2 years with my brother. And yeah, and after then joined basically that's the moment when I where I was noticing, like, from other people, like they used to I used to bunk classes, like school classes and all of these
I'm
things.
so
And
happy you said that.
yeah, obviously, like you need to spend time, right? Like, and yeah, like basically, like if you're spending too much on like regular learning, regular education, which is there, you can't do something different, right? So I used to spend more time on things related to computers, like learning programming language, building mobile apps. And I felt that is more relevant what exactly I need to do in near future. Because other subjects were like just yeah, like
Very
it was
vanilla, just there and with no clear purpose as to what, how you
exactly.
use them later. Yeah.
Exactly. Um and that moment itself, I during those years I used to learn, used to also um like like think like this, like college is just a piece of paper, or even like school is just a piece of paper, like just for degree or just for namesake, right? Like if you want to learn something, want to do something, there's an open internet, you can just Google it and you can learn it anything, but whatever you want, whatever subject you want. So I used to have those kind of belief, and I continued doing whatever, like all of these things, like whether if it is learning a new language, like I learned like Java, PHP, like whatever the latest trend
What
languages. I
age? You've mentioned that you started coding at age 12, which is insane even by today's standards. And so, how old were you when you first started coding in Java?
um I would say like I was in 11th standard, so somewhere around like 16, age 16, 17, I would say. Um, so, so yeah, that's how I also believed on one thing, like there's a poem, Road Not Taken, by Robert Frost, and always I kind of remember that poem, Road Not Taken. Like you have to do something different in order to be something different, right? Become something different. So so yeah, somehow that poem really like clicked my kind of, in every life decisions I try to do something different than normal people. So
I used to have that scribbled down in his notebook. The two roads diverged into a lovely woods, and I took the one less traveled, and that made all the difference. So, and
exactly.
used to quote it a lot. So, when I was dropping out of college in 2010, I told him, I reminded him that, you have always stood by this fundamental, and uh, sort of forced him to support me in that sense.
Yeah, but I would say
You
um
echo a lot of my initial convictions about the software space in general, not just the software space, as in the concept of industry as it was evolving. I remember being very disillusioned with the education system in my 11th standard as well. For me, HC Verma was this big nightmare that was suddenly dropped on me. I'm sorry, I know you're an engineer and you probably did well in your thing, but I couldn't relate with engineering physics. I couldn't relate with the volume 1 and volume 2 11 12 dono ka. So I got very scared, and I thought I want to do storytelling. The other professor calculus from Tintin made more sense. तो उधर जा रहा था. But this idea of education not being customized for people, not being able to identify the real spark in kids, I think, I mean, at least from what I hear these days, they've solved a lot of that with the recent schooling curriculum changes. But I'm still not sure. I think the general approach is still very mass. to sort of train everybody to think a certain way. What I have to commend about you is that even though I'm a self-professed rebel in that sense, but I ended up working my way for the first 8 years of my life, even after dropping out. Maybe out of some sense of security, some subconscious idea of figuring out my life and having something to fall back on. You, however, took the plunge of being took a leap of faith, rather, I would say, of being an entrepreneur from day one, never really even trying out the so-called tested path. And you've demonstrated multiple successes along the way. How did it feel initially? How did folks around you react? How did you find like-minded people who would join you on your journey? Because you've always had to have co-founders to run successful projects. And most importantly, then when and how and why did you become convinced that you were going to disrupt for the Web3 space?
Yeah, I would say this is a big question. And starting with, as I mentioned, like I started very early during my school days, and after then, my college days, like 2013 to 2016 was my college, and I was doing BCA from Symbiosis, and that time I was more towards polishing my skills, building application for other people as well, so that when you're not working for anyone, but like as a company in a company, but still you need to have lots of skills which is required in order to build your own company. So I took that approach, like let's build application for other people. So that really I was working as an independent person, just a one person to build from end to end the whole app, mobile, whether it is mobile app, web app, and all of these things, right? And that time it helped me to learn about all the perspective, like what are things like UI, UX, mobile app, front end, back end, and all DevOps side, all the things which is required to build a successful application, even scaling as well. So during my school days, I worked with TVF, the Viral Fever team, to launch inbox office, and that time, like I was a sole engineer, built that whole platform. And when
You
we launched
have
that
worked with
platform,
Arunab and Biswapati and team.
uh yeah, Arun, basically, if you know the Viral Fever,
Oh, I
uh
believe everybody watching this knows the viral fever.
yeah. So they watched this Suleimani Kida. They were that was the first inbox office. They launched kind of
The
Netflix
two
kind of thing. Pay and
screenwriters
watch.
story. Yes.
Yeah. So that time it was like a big turning point for me, because um integrated a real payment gateway, and like in within a half an hour got a millions of users in that platform. And yeah, like that time the scalability thing happened, like build application where lots of users are using at the same time.
And
But yeah, that these were my journey of my school, where school colleges, where I used to build applications, or like try different applications. Actual startup happened when after I completed my college. I uh by the way, till the time I was very much introvert person. It was like whenever, let's say, if that time I was asked to pitch on the stage, like I used to like shake, or I was not confident even to speak even in front of the stage or in front of the people. So I moved to Delhi, and there started this company called Capitally. It was a personal finance application where people used to save money, and also like see all of their different bank accounts in one place. And that was a good learning for me. Like I put in all of my life savings there. More than 10 people were working for me, and that was basically I was the solo founder, no co-founder there. um, but I will say that was a big learning curve, I would say that was the actual startup, the first startup of mine, which I started. Proper startup where, earlier it was like one single person working and like under the hood and in front of the system they working. But that was the first company where more than like 10 people are working. There was office, there was like a proper like we pitched to the investors also. So that was that kind of thing. um the major thing I will say learning was I was building um I was building a rocket instead of skateboard. So if you are a tech, especially to your audience, like if you are a tech entrepreneur, for sure you are good in like building the product. Make sure you have a break, okay? Like and you also have to sell to customers, okay? So you have to make sure like first get that MVP live ASAP. Like if you're thinking about solving a problem, okay, so first try to speak with different customers and know what's the actual problem is before you create the whole PRD, like the whole requirement list, like, oh, I want like this feature, this feature, this feature, and even like I want to install a AC also in that rocket, right, like there are many things you want to
Yeah.
do in that small product, right? So um build a minimal list of list of features which you want, right? And those features should be required by your customer, should not by your desire that I want to have this feature. It should be by your customer who really needs that feature, right? Like in your first version, because the more feature you add in your first version, the more fuel will be required to take off that rocket,
And
right?
the more points of potential failure also exist. So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. Because the more time you need to build that product, and more time you will take, the more time, more money also it's required. Because if you are not able to ship that product fast, like like, you also have to hire people even like to build that initial MVP. So have a minimalistic product. So I was building this
this learning for you for the first time really happened at Capitally. That's what, the entire
you can,
hustle
yeah,
of working with a scaled up
you
team,
can say.
the challenge of the deadline, and okay.
Yeah, I was just building the whole app, like adding this feature. Chalo, ye feature bhi add karte hain, adding this feature also, that feature also. And I wasn't focusing on fundraising. I wasn't focusing on even doing sales even. And then there was a month, like I got to know, okay, like now 2 months of cash is remaining, and there are like 10 people in the company, and I have to like either I have to go and fundraising. I was doing that, but no success because I just started fundraising, and first time founder, like first time actual startup founder, if they go out for the fundraising, there are a lot of things they need to prepare. They need to learn even like like even that confidence to pitch in front of the investors, in front of the stage, in front of like also handling the rejections is very time taking thing. It's not like you watch a YouTube video and then you are ready like for fundraising, right? So you have to be like very much well prepared for all of these things. So yeah, that's what happened like with my first company. Like I was building a rocket instead of skateboard, and and yeah, I was solo founder. That also one of the thing. As solo tech founder, like there should be someone who is with you. Basically many ups and downs will come, but when ups and downs, your mood will also go up and down, right? So there should be someone who can be with you that
It
time,
balances the equation out.
not your life partner, but
I understand.
but your business partner should be there, who is doing some actions when you are not doing that thing, or when you're not handling that part of the business. So
More like a co-parent, really. So if one parent sort of falls back, even though, yeah, like that's a good analogy there. So
exactly.
somebody needs to be there to take care of the baby. So you'd always, you would advise people to have at least one like equal co-founder with you who's equally
Exactly.
responsible for the child.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was my major learning with Capitally. And yeah. And now coming to your second part of that question, like how you
Web3.
end up into Web3. So that time, during the Capitally stage, 2017, crypto was booming. Like everywhere it was all about like crypto price. And I was into little bit into crypto since 2013. Like I was knowing like there's a Bitcoin, there is like a Ethereum. I read like white paper in the past, but I wasn't actively into that. So
Okay.
in 2017, okay, like let's go deep into crypto. Let's see what it is. And I started doing algo trading those days.
Okay.
So whatever the limited money I was having, like I was utilizing that and building. I built this trading desk for myself, like because I was facing issues doing arbitrage from one exchange to another exchange, and I thought, okay,
When
like
you say build a trading desk for yourself, you mean a complete backend and front end which you could use to actually execute the
I
trades.
mean, for myself, as I was doing algo trading, I wasn't able to manage my trades, manage my wasn't able to see my profit loss or in different exchanges. Plus, I have to open different windows to trade on multiple exchanges. So I built this platform Coinally. Firstly, it was only for myself because I was seeing that problem for myself as a trader, where whenever you're placing a limit order, like buy order, and then you're placing a sell order, like now you want to see how much money you made. Like you need to do copy pen thing, like like manually you have to see how much money you made by subtracting, adding, and all of these things. Even that problem still exists today, but even if you use Binance and other exchanges, you will not see your real profit loss there of your trades,
Yeah.
not futures, normal profit loss. So yeah, like that I built it for myself, and then later on made it for public, and then after this time I was making sure I'm not building a rocket. So there were a few users, beta users, and then very early I got a um I learned something. Another thing I would like to say, like, if you're a tech founder, like that time also I was very much working solo, like a single founder, and I decided like as I built that whole platform, I decided like let's kind of make this public, open for all, and also do proper fundraising. Unlike my previous company, like I don't wanted to do the same mistake. So 1 month I tried to do heavy networking. So meaning like my LinkedIn connection grown from like 500 connections to like 5,000 plus. And that month, like you guys, you can imagine like how many people I reach out to
Yeah.
during those months, right? And that month I got some initial funding, like worth of 30 lakhs rupees. That was my first time someone was trusting me, like in my company, and like invested.
Angel money.
So yeah, like I would say that was a moment where, if you watch that Pursuit of Happiness, that movie,
I
right?
have
That
seen the movie and I've
time.
experienced this. So mine was a slightly lesser one. 2019, I at the end of it. This was right before COVID was about to hit. I was working on a product called Swipe, and we'd raised funds. So this gentleman calls in on from a mailing list. Again, it started with an email and said, "Hey, I want to put," and I think the amount was about 21K USD or something, which is roughly 15-16 lakhs. But it meant a big deal, right? And that suddenly somebody's for the first time somebody's trusting me with their money for my product. What happened during COVID is an entirely different story. But yeah, that moment is precious for you. Which year, this is with Coinally?
2019. Yeah.
2019. Oh, same time.
Sorry, 2018, somewhere around, yeah, 2018. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. And 2000, so
Somewhere
this is
around.
your first fundraise experience that's happening in that happened in 2018.
Yes, you can say, yeah. First, yeah.
Okay.
So,
And,
yeah, like,
you mentioned you had a co-founder at Coinally.
I was solo founder there
You still
again,
were a
but I
solo
do
founder.
have some advisors. I do have some advisors there, like who are helping me that time. Yeah.
Okay. And Coinally, unless I'm mistaken, was acquired by a European exchange ultimately. You exited.
Later on that month when I was started doing reaching out to people, I got like fundraising, raised 30 lakhs, and that month only I got like this acquire option, acquire offer where they acquired my company, and yeah, I joined them as a CTO. Like basically, it was more like handovering period where hand over the IP and everything.
Understood.
I moved to Switzerland for almost an year and then came back to India. So yeah, that was my short journey. The reason why I very much inclined toward this acquisition, because when you're building, when you're not seeing that success since almost like many years, right? So I was very much attracted towards that small acquisition. So that was my was a thing. I was attracted towards that, and yeah, this is how I came into crypto, came into Web3, and after in 2019 Transak happened, started with my co-founder Sammy, um
How did
and
you
yeah.
meet Sammy?
Yeah, so basically, we both were building on ramp, our own version of on ramp, like I was building from India and he was building from UK. So he's from UK, by the way. So different culture team, different co-founder. So we visited this DevCon in Osaka, 2019, and DevCon 4 specifically. And we were pitching the same idea to investors there in a event. And yeah, I heard fiat on RAM and I was like, okay, like let's talk with this person who what he's building, and yeah, like talked with him, and since that day, next day, like I would say, like we were chatting, like having lots of long hours conversation every day, and yeah, working together since that day. So so yeah, it was little different because my co-founder was from different country, different culture,
You
but yeah,
continued to build this together while you were in two different time zones.
so after we met, we spent like few weeks together in Osaka, Japan, and to discuss about high level things, alignment, and all of that. And then we spent like 6 months in New York. We got selected in this accelerator program. We were working and building Transact from the same apartment and attending that cohort, like in New York. So that time, that 6 months in New York, spending time together, it really helped us to create bonding, knowing each other, and also creating our first MVP, right? So I would say we just built our MVP within like 1.5 months.
So when
So
you were first accepted into the acceleration program, you were still at idea stage. I'm guessing, or idea POC stage. And then how long? You said 1 month, 30 days to go from idea to MVP while you were within the acceleration. That's just insane.
right,
Uh,
right.
what is your experience in general? Because again, a lot of a common question among founders is it worth the effort of getting accelerated or applying to an accelerator? You being one of the a living case study for someone who has gone through acceleration in very early stages from idea to MVP and then evolved beyond that. I believe 3 quarters into getting accelerated, you demoed at F Denver, and that's when things started getting really really big. So how was uh, what did acceleration mean for you? Do you recommend this for founders who are building early stage products today, who maybe are in a similar space, a small team with 2 people, but very dedicated, vector aligned folks trying to build something unique together?
So I'll share a little bit of my experience with accelerator with Tachyon. So Sammy and I, we both were doing something different. So I was the one who was doing the coding and like who was building the whole app, front end mobile app, front end web app, and back end and all of that. So um, we were asked to basically Sammy was doing his goal was daily speaking with 10 customers. Daily he used to speak with 10 different customers. He used to collect the requirement, and like we were having a leaderboard among other startups, like and there was a competition like how who is speaking with customers more. So they also recommended a book, testing with humans, and I would say that really helped us, like talking with customers, creating a fake product. So during this accelerator program, we built this Transak first product, MVP, where you'll not imagine what kind of fake product we created. So the whole front end was like really like people were entering the email, doing the email authentication and placing the order and all of that, right? But backend was fully manual. Even we were sending a order confirmation email manually, like to them.
And
Crypto, we were,
still just you and Sami at this stage.
yeah. So basically we try to narrow down so much where we decided like in next like few weeks we want to launch this product, and we want to create some requirement from our end users, like what are things they need in our product. So we tried to we remove all the fancy stuffs, all the things which is not required by just speaking with customers. So Sammy used to speak with 10 customers every day. He used to get the requirements. Like I used to add those screens, add those functionality in the applications, and deprioritize the things which is not required that much during the initial launch. That was one thing. Another thing is like that was related to building the product. Now, Accelerator program also helped us to create proper pitch, do rehearsal, like do practices. Giving proper feedback, like what is required, what is not required. Also helping us connecting with some investors even. So doing the demo day, doing the practice sessions, doing office hours. Office hours was very, very good. During very initial days when we were in idea stage, we were also like having lots of we used to take advices regarding licenses, or regarding legal opinions, regarding partnerships and all of these things. Office hours really helped us to give us opinion, like they used to help us, like guide us, like you should do, what should not do. Basically, is more ultimately, if you are building your own company, you know the best, right? Because you are fully deep into your product, you are fully deep into your company. Is more about clarity, someone from outside helping you to get the clarity, right? So helping you to think properly in a right path. So that's what accelerator program helped us to do while building our company. So yeah.
So pre-accelerator and post-accelerator, you would say that there was a considerable amount of difference even when you self-evaluated your pitch towards investors, because you mentioned the initial journey of when you went out hunting for funds, even during Coinally, and then how you saw yourself pitching your product, or how you witnessed your own pitch come out at the end of the day before your follow fundraise. There was a visible difference.
Big difference, right? I was like that, like for the first time I got into accelerator program, and I felt like this thing every entrepreneur should do it. Every entrepreneur should get into accelerator program. They should know some basic things. At least once in a lifetime they should do accelerator program. Because obviously in your first startup, right? Like second startup, you will not do accelerator program. You already knowing the basic things what you experience in your first startup, right? Um so Transact was like that. I would say Coinly, I pitched to 2 or 3 investors, not like 100 plus investors, right? So Transact is a company where I pitched to lots of investors, right? So Coinly was that, but I haven't talked with many people with Coinly. So but yeah, like I'll like to say, like, everyone should experience, go to accelerator program, like if they are first time founder, second time founder, they should, if they haven't experienced well building their own company, they should really do this accelerator program. So
Thank you for that. My next question is more related to your product and your team itself. Now, you've spoken about how you achieved your first MVP. We understand what you were trying to build, and you made news. You made headlines last year when you went ahead and got 2 top Paytm executives to join your team, Rajat and Sharat, unless I'm mistaken, who were building Paytm Money prior to that. And
yeah.
I remember reading up about your focus on bringing crypto transactions into the Indian mainstream as well, that as being part of your goals. So, what are your plans surrounding India? When we got into this space, launched our own accelerator program, we were trying to study the adoption rates and how users behave. We even did the state of DeFi report to understand user behavior and the sort of segments where users like hanging out, where do they see problems, which areas have less interest. And this is a big question right now, even in terms of future investments into the sector, regarding how is mainstream adoption looking like. Crypto usage, adoption and familiarity, comfort levels in terms of transacting in crypto across platforms. And that is a big decision to take as a founder also. I understand that globally you have a very high scope of scalability right now. You've expanded into so many geographies. There are so many more to come. There are newer currencies that get listed every day. You have the option of working with newer platforms to help them either solve for the ramping solution or for user onboarding also. But what are your plans for India in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years? Also, you're a 75-member team right now, if my numbers are right. Do you see Transact expanding into a double-digit team into a triple-digit team or a quadruple-digit team sometime in the near future? How many jobs do you foresee creating for the Indian Web3 populace?
Sure. So yeah, like I would say 1.5 years or 2 years back, our head of engineering joined us, Rajat, and he worked in Paytm. Basically, he was head of engineering in Paytm, managing 100 plus team members there. So I'm lucky to have him, like and he when he joined, like really like lots of things where I wasn't not good at, like he really like handled things very well, like related to management and managing people and other day-to-day tech side, right? So that I can focus on more on high level of the business, like with my co-founder. So more on strategy side, more into 0 to 1 thing, where like something like founders can only do it very nicely, like fastly. So coming back to your question about how we are seeing the India part, so we are seeing a big trend coming in India, especially many games are coming into Web3 these days, like and they are introducing Web3 economics, adding NFTs, adding token economics in their games. Many games are starting into that, and this is the starting, right? Like uh, and I would say mainly games are there right now, and coming few years, like 2 3 years, I'm even seeing many CFI apps or financial applications as well. They will start adding some crypto use cases, like invest in crypto or like that kind of thing. I'll be not shocked in the next 2 3 years Paytm also introduce like invest in Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin in Paytm
I
application
can see
itself.
that happening. Paytm Gold and Paytm Bitcoin are like just this much apart.
Exactly. And that time is all about when government give a green light about crypto. Like it's just a matter of time, right? Like whenever government will give little bit green light towards crypto or about crypto regulations, right now is little grayish, but once that will happen, big companies, big financial applications will also add these use cases in their app, and that's where the big adoption will start in India. So this is the overall market, like how I'm seeing. But before those financial applications bring crypto use cases, these games will gonna blow up the market, like in
I was
India.
about to ask you that. Do you actually? I mean, I really believe that the GameFi space can become that inflection point driver for crypto mainstream adoption. I was speaking to Bolivar's CEO in the last episode, and he mentioned how in-game utility is a good way of teaching people about the applied value of a token rather than just blindly saying pump or hold. And I can see you guys integrating beautifully into that space wherein you allow users to seamlessly transact using INR. And okay, yeah. So are you already like have you how many GameFi platforms have you tied up with so far, and how many of them are operational in India as well?
Um, there are many Web3 games already using us, like Decentland, Sprinterland, Zrun, then many of the Animoca brands portfolio also. Animoca brands is our investor, and they also helping us integrated in many of the games. Example, Rev Racing, MotoGT, we are already live in. We are basically focusing more towards onboarding instead of just on and off ramp, and that and onboarding start with games, because games is the one who needs the faster onboarding, and they need the whole end to end instead of just on and off ramp. So our strategy is towards like helping games, making sure the end users just spend like few minutes, and within few minutes they just get into that game. Like let's say if you're
Somebody
if you're
who's
playing.
non-crypto native can come in essentially, who is
That's
accustomed to
yeah, that's
Web2
the
gaming.
plan, right? Like let's say you're playing a game, you don't know anything about crypto jargons, gas fees, gas price, or whatever the like crypto jargons, like, even creating a wallet also, right? Like they just use like a Web2 app, just like log in with Google, a wallet got created, smart contract wallet got created, and and under the hood, we are we are making sure the user is just pressing some few buttons. Example, like they're just entering the payment details, billing details, and that's all. They don't need to spend like 20 minutes in doing the KYC, or doing the whole process of creating the wallet, learning about gas fees, gas price, and all of that. So we are making sure like games users having this kind of user experience and having a faster onboarding.
That is a brilliant way to look at it, actually. We've been discussing this for quite some time. The main challenges for mainstream adoption are familiar UX. You started talking about what we used to refer back to as Jacob's Law. When you're bringing people in for the first time, make it as familiar for them as possible. And you are eliminating all the things that they do not necessarily need to know, only the impact points.
Exactly.
That's a good
Exactly.
head start.
So
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
coming to the Indian users. So as we are right now 75 team members, around 60 people are in India, and we are in terms of hiring wise, like we are in the bear market still. Like the market is not that great, like we don't want to spend heavily, so we are not planning to hire massive, like for sure not more than triple digit, right? So we wanted to stay lean, focused, and that's something with next 1 year at least, right? And this is about the hiring part. And as I mentioned, like we are seeing India is a big market, and we 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 resume our on and off ramp in India, on ramp in India like a few months back, and now soon we also enable off ramp also in India. So we are open to do business in India and expand it more. So yeah, that's about your Indian part of your question. Yeah.
Understood. And with respect to the hiring, what I understand is your tech is pretty much scalable. So if you your hiring expenditure, if at all it happens, it will mostly be in the BD, business development, and sort of partnership space, wherein you get to get more people, probably in different geographies, to tie up with more platforms.
Our focus is more towards getting the licenses in different countries, focusing more on even marketing, brand building, right? So that where Harshit is feeling alone there, right? So yeah, like focusing more on these part where building a brand
Marketing
and
teams always feel lonely. No matter how big they get. This is a
yeah,
universal truth that I've been living with.
yeah.
But this has been a fun chat, yeah, Yash. Thank you so much for doing this. And before we let you go, though, you already started with a couple of really good pointers for founders. I want to thank you for that already. If you had to condense your experiences into like a single takeaway for somebody who's maybe as old as you were when you first figured out that spark, what would that message be for them? For founders who aspire to build something interesting, something with global adoption potential, while remaining true towards their true calling.
I will say, don't try to build a rocket, build a cycle. Get a co-founder like early. Like is not necessary like a non-tech co-founder, or just one more co-founder, whether it is tech or non-tech is fine. Definitely there'll be a lot of things you'll be need help. Example, fundraising, business development, pitching. Like there are a lot of things you need to do. So you need tech, also non-tech people initially, and you can't put lots of your personal wealth also while building the company. So not only wealth, it's also time, right? So and starting is very hard to convince people to join your own company. Like
Yeah.
even if you pay lots of money also to employees to they will not join because of the stability, right? So for that time your co-founder really comes, and you have to believe in them, right? So so yeah, these are things matters a lot. I would say focus on these two things, and for sure they will do the best. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Yeshu. Once again, I hope you have a fantastic day ahead. We'll wrap up this episode. Should be out soon on the Graviton YouTube channel and on our Twitter handle at Join Graviton. For those of you watching this episode, thank you for watching till the end. Do not follow to check out transact.com and understand the real disruption that Yeshu and team are bringing into the Web3 space. There are many ways in which you can engage with the product itself, learn more about on-ramp solutions. If you are building a DApp that needs user onboarding to happen much faster than what the available infrastructure permits, I seriously suggest that you check out what Transact is up to. I'm excited about what happens after this upcoming fundraise. Advance congratulations on that, Yeshu, and to the entire Transact team. Really, we hope to see, or probably, like fingers crossed, we hope to probably talk to Sammy as well someday. Maybe the two of you on another episode of the Graviton podcast. If you enjoyed this one, I'd really call you out for another one of these real soon.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Sean.
Thanks for being here, Yeshu. As the good overlords of Web3 say, #WOGME, and this is the Graviton podcast, over and out.